thought I would show you something that's not actually junk journal related, although in my world it is, because it gives me the foundation or the workspace I need to be inspired and to enjoy the craft. And that is show you how to paint folding tables so that they can be used for really nice work surfaces that are fairly large and allow you to kind of spread out. So I love our house. I really do. I always say I could live here forever, regardless of how much money I had. But we basically live in a fishbowl. There's literally like no walls. It's a problem for many reasons, but so I had to, where I sit for work and where I sit for crafting is in a loft on our second floor. And you can oversee, I'll show you in a little bit, you can oversee our living room. So when you're downstairs, you can see up, and when you're upstairs, you can see down. If you come upstairs, this is our loft. The bedrooms are off the loft, so you see it when you're coming out of your bedroom, so as well as both bathrooms. So anyway, the point is, it is public. So because it's public, I love my house and I love how it's decorated, and it's important to me that I live in an environment that's aesthetically pleasing because it makes me feel good. So I wanted the space that I set up for work and for crafting to be functional, but also aesthetically nice, as best as I could anyway, acknowledging that there's like crap everywhere that you need while you're creating junk journals. It's insane. So I also wanted a space where if I had to, I could pull up the tables, because this is a loft. It's a very nice space. And so I have a daughter, if she has friends over, if we need it for any particular thing, I wanted to be able to take up the table so we could go back to having it be a regular room. So when I was trying to brainstorm, I'm like, well, how do I meet all these criteria? Have it pretty, have it be basically, somewhat temporary if I chose to, and have it be a workspace that's actually fun and inspires me to create. The only thing I could really think about or think for is folding tables. So folding tables are ugly. Not that, everything has to be pretty before somebody sends me somehow hate mail, but I did want it to be pretty. It is important. So, the folding tables, they satisfy many things. They didn't satisfy the aesthetics part of it. So I had to figure out, how do I make them attractive? And what I came up with is painting them so that they look like wood grain. I had done that technique before. I think I said in other videos that we have a small cottage on Cape Cod, and I had created a dining room table with the same exact wood grain that I'm about to show you. In fact, the same colors. I used the same paint even on that table, and it came out great, and it genuinely looks like wood. So I thought, well, why can't I do that same thing to the plastic tables? In order to have paint adhere to plastic, I know there's a few extra steps that are needed to try to make it durable, or to make it as durable as you possibly can, to extend the longevity of just how long it's gonna, last and look okay and decent. So I have used a product many times. I like to paint, and I'm lazy, so I need a product that it doesn't require a lot of effort. I hate painting. I love the end results. I need instant gratification. I hate the process of painting. I pay people to paint, so I don't have to paint. So, but anyway, this product I've used multiple times. It's called Heirloom Traditions. It's a great product, I think. I'm an internet nobody, so nobody is paying me to say this. Literally nobody. Nobody knows that I exist. This is similar to kind of like a chalk paint, but in my opinion, much better because it's less steps. Chalk paint, you have to put this wax thing at the end, and that just bugs me. I don't want the wax. I don't like the feel of chalk paint, but it adheres well. This has the same adherence, but doesn't have the same end finish. So, and this only requires, it doesn't require, it has a top coat built in, it has a base coat built in. The only thing it requires is you to prep with this like deglosser and sander type liquid. And that's really important because it sets the foundation for the paint to adhere to. So Heirloom Traditions, I'll link below. There's 5 steps. First, wash it with their solution, their prep solution. Easy, you don't even have to wipe it with water after, you just basically wipe it on. Take what's green scrub like you do with your dishes, basically scrub it a little bit and then wipe it with a soft cloth. You don't have to clean it after that. Do that step. Next step is you have 2 colors, you have a lighter one and a darker one. You take the lighter color, whatever that is, in my case it's called cappuccino, paint the base coat. I will show you this, actually physically do it for you. Paint the base coat, let it dry. Take your darker color, which in this case is Stonehenge, paint it while it's wet. So this is really important, it has to be wet, you can't let it dry. You take this wood grain tool and you drag it and rock it and drag it through the darker paint, and it actually makes the wood grain effect, which again I will show you. It's kind of amazing because it doesn't look like it doesn't look like it's going to create wood grain, but it does. It really does. So do that, let that dry. You don't have to put a top coat on it, but because I was using, and I didn't delicate, I don't think. I mean, it specifically says you don't have to, this particular product. Because I'm using it for a craft table, and I knew it would get scuffed, and you know, just like there's a lot of wear and tear, a lot of like just moving plastic on it and stuff. I did actually put a polyacrylic on it because I wanted to have kind of a thick coat of clear in case it does get scratched, that it wouldn't, my thought anyway, it wouldn't go down to scratch the paint. So I did do that as a last step, but it's not necessary. So I will show you the steps. I will say, I'm going to show you on a small piece of cardboard just so you can see me drag it, basically. That's the only thing it's not hard, but it's the only thing that's going to require, I think you'll want to see it. Drag the tool. Because it's just a small square, the wood grain is not as prevalent as when you see it on a long table. So, because you can't see the long planks on that square. I think you'll see what I mean when you look at the sample. However, I'll show you the table itself and you can see it really looks great. I'm not saying it's like nobody's gonna know, but it's a really good second if you have to have some sort of folding table. And the only other thing I did is I spray painted a flat black, kind of like a wrought iron-y type spray paint on the legs, so that it would look, again, a little less like a folding table, a little more like, you know, farmhousey type look. So let me pause. I'll show you the steps. I'll also show you my work surface so you can see the end result. And then that's it. I hope it inspires you. Have a good day. Okay, first you take the cappuccino color and you paint a base coat, just like you would any other kind of paint. I'm just painting on a cardboard box for a demonstration, but this is exactly how I painted this table right here. So paint your base coat and get it nice and even, although it doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to cover it with multiple coats anyway, but make it so it's not quite crazy streaky, and then let that dry and I'll come back. Okay, the next step is the most important step. So I'm taking Stonehenge. These just happen to be the colors that I had. It doesn't have to be these colors, but it's basically, you want a color that's darker than the base coat. And you're just gonna apply it in one motion across, all the same motion, I should say. Just like you were painting regular. Nothing special. The only thing is you have to do it quickly so it doesn't dry. This is the most important thing. So this is a wood grain tool, and it's just plastic, and they have it in multiple widths depending on how thick you want your fake planks to be. I have a large one because I like large planks. And all I'm gonna do, hopefully I have this in frame. I'm not good at this camera yet, is roll it. So you start dragging, and as you're dragging, you're rolling and then rolling back, and that's it. So now it's a really short, it's a short piece of cardboard, so you're not going to get as much of the detail as I have on just this. You can see this is a much better just example, but it's really that easy. So then I put on another quote-unquote plank. The reason that I'm doing it in stages again is because you want to roll it with the wood grain tool when it's wet. Otherwise, it won't come up. And then same thing. There's no like right or wrong way. Take the wood grain tool, and as you're dragging, you're rocking it. And then once you rock it all the way, you rock it back the other way, and so on and so forth. And as you do it, you're creating a wood grain tool. So the more planks you put on, the more it looks like wood. So it's, like I said, it's difficult potentially to envision that this is going to look more and more like wood than versus just kind of like crazy lines that it does right now. But it really does. You can see it on the table. This is exactly the same color and the same technique that I used on this table. So I'm gonna let this dry and then I'll come back. Okay, the last step makes this look the most like wood, I think. And it's called antiquing gel. I'm using Vintage Brown, again, the same brand, Heirloom Traditions All-in-One Paint. They have multiple different colors antiquing gel. And this, I need to actually, well, normally I brush it on, but I don't have a brush. So there you go, we're improvising for my, because I can't go get one. But anyway, you wipe it on, and you very quickly wipe it off. So normally I'm brushing it on. So actually, I should say you brush it on and then quickly wipe it off. I'm doing both at once, and so it's actually saving a step. But can you see that it's actually it's adding depth to the color and streaking so it looks more like wood? And then you're gonna just do the same thing to all of it. And it's just up to you how much you want to keep on. I keep probably a medium amount on. I don't want it to look too dirty. So if you can see this, in my mind, this looks like wood. This looks like it's on its way to looking like wood, but not quite there yet. So I'll just do the last part. And wipe off just a little bit more. And there you go. Wood grain on plastic, really any substrate you can put it on, including leather. I've actually painted a fake leather old chair, and it didn't crack, and it did look, it kept the same it kept the same finish. So I don't know long term. I can't say how long it would last because I don't have the chair anymore. But it did actually work, so I can say that much. Hopefully this was helpful. Thank you. Have a great day. So you can see the new part, and you can see my original desk. So it's basically just made a U. So much more functional. And you can see why it's needed. I just overlook everything. And as I was saying before, you can see also at the close-up of the table, when you're making long strokes, it looks so much more realistic than just that little square that I made for you in the example. So just, this is your real example, the long table. It's really helped a lot. I'm really pleased with it. I hope you found this useful. Oh, Scotty. Say hi to my dog. Hey, Scout. Oh, he's not cooperating.